Okay, guys, we restart. Like 12th fail movie में restart किया था ना उसने. What was I telling is that nature of this interview is conversational. So sometimes you will see on YouTube and all that interviewer keeps asking the question. इंटरव्यूअर क्या करता है, पूछता रहता है ये कैसे बिफोर द इंटरव्यू इज अबाउट टू अप्लाई वो इंटरव्यूअर फिर से चढ़ जाता है उसमें. बट दैट इज नॉट हाउ द एसएसबी इंटरव्यूज आर डन. दैट इज नॉट. तो जितने आप इंटरव्यूज यूट्यूब पे देख रहे हो, आई एम नॉट सेइंग ऑल, बट मेजॉरिटी ऑफ देम आर नॉट फॉलोइंग हाउ डीआईपीआर हैज रिकमेंडेड इट or exactly how it will happen when you go for your SSB. So, as a rule, I must tell you that 10% of the talking versus 90% of the talking. 10% by the interviewer. If there is a proper SSB interview, then 10% of the talking, suppose we are talking for half an hour, 10% of the time will only be taken by the interviewer, 90% is by the interview. That is the ideal interview. ये बात समझ में आई? If interviewer is continuously talking, what will happen? Interviewer will not be able to speak. He will not be able to speak means what? How will he express himself? Getting your point? That is a major thing. Another important thing to understand here is that what interviewer does is he will never ask you direct questions. He will never ask you. In SSB, there is nothing known as what is your name, what is your hobby, or what is the capital of France. Such questions have no relevance in SSB interviews. So SSB interviews it is always questionnaire, not a question. And that questionnaires are called as CIQs. CIQs, Comprehensive Introductory Questionnaire. Comprehensive. Are you getting the point? Why it is so? Because he will not be like, if he asks you direct questions, then he is not doing SSB. समझ में आ रहा है? Suppose I ask you, what is the river which flows through Egypt? And suppose you tell me it is Nile. What do I get out of your personality? Nothing. Except for the fact that you know that there is a river. So you have a knowledge about a river which is there in Egypt. But I don't get anything out of your personality. So what is my idea is? My idea is to keep the interview all about you. Your interview, this kind of interview should be only about, because I am interested in you. That is my subject. That's all. You as a person. आपका जो knowledge है, whatever XYZ knowledge, it has already been checked. ठीक है? And that is not my concern whether checked not checked. As an interviewer, I am interested in knowing you as a person. Getting your point?
Yes, sir.
You are my subject. My whole interview will revolve around you as a person. Getting your point?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
So the first CIQ, first thing is called, I told you, rapport building. RB. What is rapport building? Rapport building is basically giving you the comfort zone. तो कैसी बातें होंगी? कहाँ से आए हो? अच्छा, मथुरा से आए हो, बताओ मथुरा के बारे में बताओ. कैसा रहा ट्रेन का जर्नी? कैसा रहा? How are you comfortable here? Did you have food? How is the food? How is the stay? These conversations are usually to break the ice. Interview has not started. Interview will start after a while. So initial 2-3 minutes are used for breaking the ice, bringing down the अगर थोड़ा सा एंग्जाइटी है, थोड़ा सा बंदे को घबराहट है, तो आफ्टर ही कीप स्पीकिंग 2-3 मिनट्स, इफ ही स्पीक्स यहाँ वहाँ की बातें, दोस्त बनाए कि नहीं बनाए, मजा आ रहा है कि नहीं, बैंगलोर में घूमे कि नहीं, कैसा लग रहा है, he gets little comfortable, right? It's very important that the person is comfortable when he is talking, because when you're comfortable, then only you will talk. If you're not comfortable, if you're anxious, what will happen? You will not be talking. You will be either blocking the answers, आप अपने आंसर्स शॉर्ट कर दोगे, आप बोलोगे ही नहीं, या you will be underconfident while replying. This kind of interview is not required. What interviewer wants it, you should speak, you should flow. Getting the point? Yes, sir. That is how the ideal interview should be. It should be flowing. Right? Suppose I ask you, who is your best friend? You say, sir, Naman is my best friend. What do I do with this? I don't get anything out of it. So how will I ask? How will I ask? No, not like that. I'll tell you how to ask. My question will be preceded with certain things. So mention the friend circle that you moved with while at school and at college. Who are your best friends and what is the reason behind it? Now, what has happened? I have asked a questionnaire kind of a thing about the friends. Got the point? Now, what is the question behind you is mention the friend circle that you moved with while at school and college or at a hostel. तो आपको बोलना पड़ेगा, sir, I had a large circle of friends and this and that. Something like that you will tell, ideally. Out of that, sir, so and so is my close friends. तो मैंने आगे भी कुछ पूछ रखा है. And what is the reason behind it? Now you'll start reasoning. Sir, I enjoy time with them. They're very good. They're very good at heart. We like the vibes. We like the bond. Some of you might say, I like his personality. He's very good looking. Some might say. So that I'll keep noting what are you saying, and then I'll follow it up. What do you mean by he's very good looking? No, sir, I didn't mean it. So what did you mean? Why did you say that? So then you are again trying to explain. Idea is that you keep talking, keep flowing, right? Whatever he wants to ask you further or she wants to ask you further, he will be making a note to what we may call it as follow-up questions. What is that called? Follow-up questions. So कभी भी इंटरव्यू ऐसा नहीं होगा एसएसबी का जिसमें इंटरव्यूअर आपको डरा रहा है. कई इंटरव्यूज मैंने एसएसबी में देखे जो यूट्यूब में डाले, लोगों ने डरा रहा है उसको. गेटिंग द पॉइंट? एक कोई इंटरव्यू किसी का मैं देख रहा था, somebody was taking, तो he saying, are you comfortable? You can't ask such questions. You have to make him comfortable. Because if you ask, are you comfortable? He will say, yes, I'm comfortable. Will he say, no, I'm not comfortable? ऐसे थोड़ी को बोलेगा. So that is not the idea. Idea is to give him the platform where he is comfortable. So what happens? The person is talking about himself, about his journey. And he is, every time while he's talking, he is going to his past. So sir, 10th mein I got this much, 12th mein I got this much, graduation mein I got this much. My future career option is so and so, my present is this, my future is this. You know what? I participated in this sports, I participated in that sports, I could not do well in extracurricular. I tried to do well, but I could not. What is happening? Eventually, what is happening psychologically? He's talking about, and he's talking about his past. And whatever future he's talking about is also linked to his past. So what happens? This person is not in his conscious state of mind. Should not be in his conscious state of mind, ideally, if the interview is good. If the interview is not to that level, then probably he will be replying from his conscious state of mind, but then that is not the ideal SSP interview. Got the point? So, while talking, he goes and opens up those chapters of his life wherein he has not visited that for a long time. Getting the point? So, I have seen, if the good follow-up question is there, I have seen students or interviewees crying also. होता है ये. पर्टिकुलरली वुमेन कैंडिडेट्स का बहुत देखा है मैंने, मेल कैंडिडेट्स का भी देखा है. कोई ऐसी बात निकल जाती है जिसके बारे में उसने बोला ही नहीं था, कभी बात हुई ही नहीं थी, या कभी हुई भी होगी तो बहुत दिनों से नहीं हुई है. जैसे someone has lost his mother or father. He has not been speaking about it for a long time. But there is a question on the family, mother, father. There is a question. So, of course, in PIQ also you feel whether your parents are alive or not. So he will ask, what happened to your mother? So he will revisit those days, which he has not been doing, and he remembers everything. And then he goes to that state of mind when he almost gives up. This is called emotional catharsis. What is the word? Emotional catharsis. Basically, the emotions that have been penting up to your throat, they find an avenue to, you know, get out. And when they get out, you start crying. Do you think crying is bad? Do you think crying is good? Why it is good? Yes, and it helps you to, lighten yourself. That's why I have remember many guys who have finished the interview with me. They have gone out, but before going out, they said, "Say it was amazing talking to you." Because that allows them to, relieve and release certain pent up emotions about talking to them, talking about them, which they have not been talking. So it gives a kind of psychological boost up. And if the interviewee, I don't know how many of you have faced this interview. First, you raise your hands. Who has faced this interview? You have faced? One, two, three. Three of them only. That's all. Okay. If after the interview you are not feeling, as if you have been upside down, then the interview has not been proper. Then for some reason, either the interviewer has lost interest in you, or for some reasons you have not been very candid and forthright about talking about yourself. Either of these. Are you getting my point? Now, the question is, how should you prepare for this interview? That is one. And about knowing yourself, absolutely, because there is no other way. It is about you, and if you don't know yourself, then how will you give this interview? You won't be able to give, right? And not exactly, yeah, okay. PIQ is a kind of data which is available with the interviewer before you come. So I will not say prepare all thing. I will rather say most important factor here is be very comfortable with yourself. Being comfortable with yourself will actually help you. And I'm not only talking about the interview per se. This is also relatable to life. If you're not comfortable with yourself, ना it'll have a lot of repercussions otherwise. ये आपके हर व्यक्तित्व के हर पहलू में दिखेगा. आप कंफर्टेबल हो, आप हैप्पी हो, या आप अनकंफर्टेबल हो और अनहैप्पी हो. The ease with which you live with yourself is essential and it is visible. So being comfortable with yourself means what? Suppose you have not been scoring very good marks. That's okay. You have not been academically very bright. So what? Everyone is not here born as Albert Einstein. Neither is the expectation from you. ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि 90% वाले को ही सिलेक्ट करना है, ऐसा नहीं है. You will see कि 90 percentile वाला भी रिजेक्ट होता है. 95% भी 12th में लाने वाला रिजेक्ट होता है. IIT में पढ़ा हुआ स्टूडेंट भी SSB क्लियर नहीं कर पाता है, because that is not the criteria. That is what you have to understand. If you have not been doing very well in academics, doesn't matter, provided you are comfortable about it. But if you are not comfortable about it, then what will happen? It will reflect. And then what will happen? You will be on your back foot. Because internally you're feeling, oh, I've not been doing, I've not done this, I've not done. This is how your approach is. And moment you're on your back foot, what will happen? Lot of follow-up questions. Lot of follow-up questions. You may not be able to come out of it. So your entire batting will be defensive. Got the point? So first and foremost thing which I am advising here is be very comfortable with yourself. You may not have excelled in sports. Maybe you have not played any sports except for gully cricket. उसके अलावा तुमने कुछ खेला ही नहीं है. So what? You didn't get the opportunity. Maybe when you get the opportunity, you will do it. You didn't do any extracurricular activities. सारे स्कूल्स में नहीं होता है भाई. गांव के बिहार के स्कूलों में यूपी के कहाँ ये सब होता है क्या? कुछ नहीं होता है. So you didn't get the opportunity, right? If you didn't get the opportunity, how would you do? Getting a point? So you have to be comfortable about it. Getting a point? Suppose you are a student of Delhi Public School, RK Puram, or any other school, modern school, or whatever. Then, if you have not done it, you're a student of St. Stephen's Delhi and you're scared of, public speaking, or you've never been part of any debate, or you have not done any extracurricular activities, then there is a problem. So, it depends from where you have come. Opportunities that were available to you at that moment. I told you the story of that Pithoragarh boy, right? He's an extremely recommendable candidate. There is a student who was in Bihar. Now he is in OTA Chennai. तो बिहार का लड़का है नीलाभ. आई रिमेम्बर हिज नेम नीलाभ. तो नीलाभ जो है बिहार में पढ़ता था, बट बिहार का एजुकेशन सिस्टम इतना खराब है कि अगर तुम ग्रेजुएशन नॉर्मल कॉलेज से करोगे ना तो एक तो 3 साल में ग्रेजुएशन ही नहीं कर पाओगे. लटकते लटकते वो 4 साल 5 साल तक भी चला जाता है. देयर इज नो सिस्टम रनिंग, फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग. तो ना स्टूडेंट्स को पढ़ाने में, वो कहता है ना लड़का वो 12th फेल वाला, कि वहां पे सिस्टम ये था कि एक आंसर शीट आ जाएगी, हमको लिख देना है, बट डीएम ने कड़ाई कर दिया उस साल तो सब फेल हो गए. मैं एग्जैक्टली आपको अपना एग्जांपल देता हूं. मैंने अपने लिए नहीं, मैं तो दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी का हूं, बट मेरे एक रिलेटिव का एग्जाम था पटना में और मैं वहां पे गया हुआ था. आई वॉज डूइंग एमएससी हियर. आई डिड एमएससी जस्ट फॉर 6 months and I got an opportunity and I left. But in that 6 months, I went to Bihar. So there was an exam for MSc, Master of Sciences in Physics. तो एग्जाम था. एग्जाम सेंटर पे ये एग्जामिनी जाता है, उसको क्वेश्चन पेपर दे दिया जाता है, आंसर शीट दे दिया जाता है, बोलता है आप इसको अगले दिन सबमिट करना. इट्स अ फैक्ट विच आई हैव सीन फ्रॉम माई आईज. अब वो बाहर आता है तो आंसर भी अवेलेबल है. कुंजी बोलते थे उसको. आपको वो कुंजी ले लेनी है, लेके चले जाना है जहां पे भी आप रह रहे हैं और सबमिट करना है. बट प्रॉब्लम उस एग्जामिनिंग की यहां तक कुछ थी नहीं. प्रॉब्लम तो अब शुरू हुई, इतना लिखेगा कौन? समझ रहे हो? दे वर सो नॉट यूज टू राइटिंग एंड getting the question paper checked. I ended up writing some of it. That's how it was. Getting a point? So this Nilab, to avoid this, he was from Bihar, but he didn't appear in Bihar ki kisi bhi university. He rather chose to study through IGNOU. What is the advantage of IGNOU? He said, you get degree in 3 years and you have to study. You can't get degree from IGNOU just like that. You have to study, you have to appear in exam, you have to pass that. Then his another challenge was English. Now no one speaks English in Bihar. They have good theoretical, grammatical knowledge, but communication is a major challenge. This boy adopted to BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation. Now in BBC there is an accent through which they speak, right? So this boy, over a period of time, adopted that accent also. So when he spoke to me, I said, how come you're speaking in the British accent? He said, I learned through BBC. Yes, that's a very reasonable explanation. His accent was quite British, but he made it. Getting a point? So you have to be comfortable with yourself, right? Getting a point?
Yes, sir.
You may not be academically very excellent. You may not be, extraordinary in sports or extracurricular activities. But most important part is how comfortable you are being you. This interview will be about you. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
If you are not comfortable about yourself, then this interview may not go good. Trust me. Getting the point? That is the first factor. Okay? So, first CIQ is called CIQ1 and it is about your education and other activities. What education you have done, your marks in 10th, 12th, or for NDA candidate it can be 8th, 9th, 10th. For a graduate candidate it is 10th, 12th, graduation. If you have done post graduation. So, what has been your academic achievement? As you were saying, PIQ. The first thing you fail is your academics. Any achievements that you had? ओलंपियाड किया है, फर्स्ट आए थे क्लास में, 100 में से 100 नंबर लाए थे. Getting your point? Second part of this is about your career option. Definitely you will end up saying, sir, I want to become a defense officer. But what he is also interested is, what are your career options? तो यू विल डेफिनेटली सर अगर इसमें नहीं होगा तो मैं सीएपीएफ करूंगा. अच्छा सीएपीएफ में नहीं होगा तो सर मैं टेरिटोरियल आर्मी करूंगा. आप भी छोड़ोगे नहीं, बट वो भी नहीं छोड़ेगा, बोलेगा अगर उसमें भी नहीं हुआ तो. So basically what he is interested in knowing about, what exactly is your plan. To what we may call it as plan B. Because SSB would not love, the system would not love that आप unilaterally like a madman एक आशिक की तरह ना एक लड़की के पीछे भाग रहे हो. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. समझ में आ रहा है? You are passionate about joining our forces, that is visible, that's why you are here. But then everyone will not make it, right? Even if you get recommended, there is medical. Even if you qualify medical, there is. So then this system, there is a girl here. This Nandini is here. She is recommended 4 times, right? Before that, there was a girl, Prachi. She was recommended, I think, 5 times. But merit में आए नहीं. तो क्या करेंगे? होना चाहिए ना कुछ. Getting your point? So this plan B is very important and it defines you as a person. How it defines you? It means you're ready for consequences, eventualities. You're not a kind of person who is, it defines you, right? Getting your point? Moreover, if you go through the pattern of examination like afcat and CDS, they're not very tough examinations. They're very middle level examination, the written part. So you don't actually have to invest your life to get cleared. Like it's not like UPSC civil services. कि आपको एकदम जान लगानी पड़ेगी तब कहीं जाके आपका निकलेगा. Even if you're putting a reasonable amount of effort, आपका रिटर्न निकल जाता है, राइट? उसका भी एक लॉजिक है कि आप इसमें तो इन्वेस्ट करें ही, इसके बाद का जो टाइम बचे वो भी आप ऑल्टरनेट करियर में इन्वेस्ट करें. समझ में आ रहा है? Getting your point? Everyone? So your alternate career option, your plan B is very important. If you don't have a plan B, basically you don't have a plan in life. सीधा सीधा समझ में आ रहा है? एंड आइडली क्या होता है? आई डोंट नो, हमारे टाइम में तो यही होता था, लॉन्ग टर्म प्रिपरेशन फॉर सिविल सर्विसेज फर्स्ट ईयर से. वैसी लॉन्ग टर्म प्रिपरेशन होनी चाहिए. मोमेंट यूर ज्वाइनिंग ग्रेजुएशन, देयर शुड बी अ प्लान. It can be banking, it can be common admission test for management, it can be civil services, it can be whatever. But there should be, right? It can be CGL, for example. But it should be there. If it is not there, it's a problem. Then he talks about your participation in extracurricular, co-curricular activities. When I was taking the class on PIQ, I explained this, right? Similar. You need not to have played nationals, no. Whatever level you have played is okay, provided you are okay with it. You know your mind. If you feel that I am a useless person who has never played anything, you will speak like that. And then he will make you feel like that also. But if you feel, sir, I played what I could, you know your point. Got the point? Then he talks about his teachers whom you liked, those who did not impress you for some reasons. Teachers, why would you like a teacher? Because they help you in learning. That can be the only reason, right? Why would you not like a teacher? Maybe teaching style was not good. Maybe he didn't or she didn't take much interest in teaching. Something like that. You won't dislike a teacher for personal reasons, usually, right? But it can be. Some people might have had some experience, whatever. Then comes to your friends. But before friends is your friend circle that you move with and close friends. Why someone is your close friend? Why someone becomes a close friend? Mostly because you share a bond with that person. It's a natural process. Why of so many people one person becomes closer to you? You share those vibes. You share that bond, right? है कि नहीं? You listen when he speaks. He listens when you speak. There is a connectivity. There is a bond. है ना? Usually. But there can be various other reasons. I don't know what are your reasons. But he will be interested. Why is he, what do you like in him? What do you don't like in him? What does he like in you? So many questions can be there. How will he describe you, for example? Last way, there is a question related to, was there any financial difficulty in pursuing your education or difficulty in financing your education? If there is a difficulty, fine. If there is no difficulty, fine. But if there is a difficulty, what did you do? There are people who tend to self finance their education. How do they do? They teach, they give tuitions, they give freelancing, they do part time work. People in abroad, you will find they always self finance their education. कनाडा में हमारे यहाँ के बच्चे जाके सेल्फ फाइनेंस में लग जाते हैं. कुछ कुछ मैगडी में काम करेंगे, कुछ यहाँ काम करेंगे. Getting the point? So there is a kind of personality which is self financing. There is a kind of personality who doesn't care. मुझे नहीं पता पैसे लेके आओ कहीं से भी. उनको कोई परवाह नहीं है. कई लोग ऐसे भी होते हैं. कहाँ से पापा पैसे लाएंगे? मुझे तो अब पायलट कोर्स ही करना है, सीपीएल करना है, मुझे 1.5 करोड़ रुपए चाहिए, कहीं से भी लेके. खेत बेचो, जमीन बेचो, जायदाद बेचो. ऐसे भी लड़के होते हैं ना. कुछ ऐसे होते हैं कि मेरे पापा को बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो रही है तो मैं हेल्प करता हूँ. दोनों पर्सनैलिटीज अलग है. एक का सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बहुत हाई है, बिलोंगिंगनेस बहुत हाई है. एक का कुछ दिख ही नहीं रहा है ऐसा. गेटिंग अ पॉइंट? है कि नहीं? इफेक्टिव इंटेलिजेंस भी हाई है. ओएलक्यू की टर्म्स मैंने उस दिन क्लास लिया था, समझाया था ना. ही इज अ प्रैक्टिकल पर्सन. ही लुक्स फॉर ऑप्शंस. ही इज जनरेटिंग रिसोर्सेस व्हेन ही इज इन टाइट कॉर्नर. गेटिंग अ पॉइंट? So this is CIQ 1. That is about your education, your friends, your teachers, your career, your sports, and your extracurricular activities. And end में difficulties in financing your education. Then comes CIQ 2. CIQ 2 is about your family. So it is about your parents, your brother, your sister. आप किससे क्लोज है फैमिली में, आपको कितना मजा आता है अपने फैमिली वालों के साथ या नहीं आता है. समथिंग लाइक दैट. देन इट कम्स टू योर नेबर्स, एक्टिविटीज दैट यू डू विथ योर नेबर्स, फ्रेंड्स. कुछ तो फ्रेंड्स स्कूल में होते हैं, कॉलेज में होते हैं, कुछ नेबर में होते हैं. शाम को उनके साथ खेलते हैं, खेलते थे, खेलते होंगे. या एट दिस स्टेज वॉट एवर यू डू, यू जस्ट सिट विद देम, यू टॉक टू देम. बट डू यू कनेक्ट with your neighbors? There are some people will say, sir, there is no one of my age. I don't know, sir, I don't connect, sir, I come and go. There are certain people like that. There are people who connect. Getting your point? And last mein there is a question ki how much pocket money do you get and how do you spend it? And if not, then how do you meet your financial requirements? Again, it comes to that. So some people say I don't get pocket money. Mostly the answer is I don't get pocket. Whenever I need, my parents give. This is the answer. Some people, they say, sir, I give tuitions, I generate money, I use this for this for this. Some people are already working. So उनसे क्वेश्चन क्या हो जाएगा कि how do you spend this money that you are earning? है ना? How do you spend the money? That defines you. Some people say कि मैं सिर्फ 50,000 रुपये तनख्वाह मिलती है, 45,000 रुपये सीधा सेविंग में डाल देता हूँ. कैसा बंदा है? और दूसरा बंदा बोल रहा है मेरे को 50,000 तनख्वाह मिलती है, 20,000 रुपये मम्मी को भेज देता हूँ, 5,000 रुपये छोटे भाई को भेज देता हूँ, कुछ मेरा रेंट पे चला जाता है, कुछ मैं बिल भर देता हूँ, कुछ मैं दोस्तों के साथ घूम लेता हूँ। ये कैसा बंदा है? ठीक है नहीं है ना? SOR हाई, ही इज गोइंग बैक टू हिज पेरेंट्स, फैमिली ओरिएंटेड है, ब्रदर ओरिएंटेड है, एंजॉय भी कर रहा है, फाइट बैक कर रहा है, एंजॉय कर रहा है, ही इज एंजॉयिंग, राइट? गेटिंग अ पॉइंट? सो योर आंसर्स will define the follow-up question. कोई standard follow-up question है ही नहीं. Your answers will define my follow-up question. If your answer is X, my follow-up question will be X1. If your answer is Y, it will be Y1. That's why I say you cannot prepare for this interview. There is no standard format. Standard खाली यही है, CIQs. उसके बाद के follow-up सारे अब interviewer पे है. समझ में आया? Third CIQ is called CIQ3. CIQ3 is about your hobbies, your spare time interest, your leisure time activities. It is about your dreams, your passions. It is about the books that you read. It is about the movies that you watch. It is about the serials that you see. It is how you use computer. It is also about the routine that you follow. So एक question ये भी होगा, tell me the routine that you follow from morning till the time you go to bed. रूटीन ऑल्सो बहुत अच्छे से डिफाइन कर देती है आपको. जितने भी आपने बड़ी बड़ी बातें की होती है ना, वो नीचे जाके यहाँ पे समाप्त हो जाता है. उसको समझ में आ जाता है तुम कितनी मेहनत कर रहे हो कि नहीं कर रहे हो. एंड आफ्टर दिस he might ask certain questions related to geopolitics. What is happening in Israel? What is happening in Maldives? What is happening in Ukraine? Where is India going? What is UCC? These are last के questions, 2 or 3. Practically, geopolitical questions do not have much of the significance on personality or the interview. But yes, if you're geopolitically alert, you're aware, it defines you in a better way. Your reasoning ability goes high. Your, presence of mind is there. It shows you're associated to the world. You are interested. Primarily, it defines your reasoning ability. Primarily. Reasoning ability में inquisitiveness भी आता है. How inquisitive you are as a person. Are you interested what is happening around you, or you're totally disinterested? आपको कुछ फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता. Got the point? That is what the interview is all about. Ideal interview should last about 40 minutes. But most of the interviews get shortened because the person is not ready to speak. Getting your point?
Yes, sir.
They come down to 30 minutes. Some interviews may even go below because वो बंदा बोल ही नहीं रहा है. He has been so poorly trained by someone that what he is replying is in monosyllables. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. Then the interview will not flow. He will try. Interviewer will try definitely. But what is happening is you have blocked his conversation. If the conversation is not flowing, this interview is not happening. As simple as that. This is all about your conversation. How engaging you are and how responsive you are to the person. समझ में आ रहा है? So far so good. Any doubts? Yeah. What is your opinion? You tell me. Of course. He's interested. You have been able to engage him. Right? At least you have not blocked him. For that matter. Generally, you will see interviews which are lasting about 1 hour or so. People are getting recommended. If it is 1 or 5 minutes, the interviewer is really interested. So that we will see why he was interested. ठीक है? और कोई डाउट किसी को? That you have to explain. He will ask this definitely. He will go to your आपके जितने भी लूप होल्स हैं वो सब पे जाएगा. अगर बैकलॉग आया है कहीं, he will definitely ask बैकलॉग क्यों आया है. He will not spare you. Now it's up to you how you convince him. But ऐसा नहीं है कि किसी को अगर कंपटीशन निकालने में टाइम लग गया तो वो रिकमेंड नहीं हुआ. और ऐसा नहीं है जिसने खटाखट कंपटीशन निकाल दिया वो रिकमेंड होता चला गया, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है। आई एम टेलिंग यू दिस सिस्टम इज इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक इन नेचर. व्हाट इज एप्लीकेबल फॉर यू इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल फॉर यू, इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल फॉर यू. यू ऑल आर थ्री डिफरेंट इंडिविजुअल्स. वो ऐसा नहीं है कि तुमने भी अच्छे से पढ़ाई की, तुमने भी अच्छे से पढ़ाई की, तुम्हारे भी नंबर अच्छा है, तुम्हारे भी नंबर अच्छा है, तो तुमको भी मिलेगा और तुमको भी मिलेगा, ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं? सीजीएल में जिसके भी नंबर अच्छा है वो होगा ना, ऐसा इसमें नहीं. समझ में आ रहा है? और कोई डाउट किसी को? नो डाउट्स? ऑल क्लियर कैसे हो सकता है? हाँ? क्या बोल रहे हो? कुछ बोल रहे थे आप? बोलो बोलो. श्योर? हाँ, इंटरव्यू देने के बाद तो मैं बता ही दूंगा कि क्या है, कहाँ पे है, माया कहाँ अटकी पड़ी है. But any other doubts about the technique? So you cannot lie. One thing which I want to tell you is, do not lie. बहुत इजीली पकड़े जाओगे और उसके बाद फिर इतनी रोस्टिंग होगी ना बिना मतलब में, फिर इंटरव्यू खराब हो जाएगा. Do not lie. Do not try to act smart. Do not fake yourself. Getting a point? Do not try to take a shortcut. Don't do that. Be what you are. That is why I started with the premise love yourself. यानी कि जैसे भी आप हैं, आप कंफर्टेबल हो जाएं अपने आप से. आपका जो कंफर्ट लेवल है जितना अच्छा होगा उतना आपका इंटरव्यू अच्छा होगा. आप झूठ मत बोलिए. झूठ बहुत सारे तरीके से बोल सकते हैं. मेरे नंबर कम इसलिए आए थे कि मेरी मम्मी बहुत बीमार हो गई थी. बोल सकते हैं ना ऐसा? सर वो हॉस्पिटल में थी, मैं दिन भर हॉस्पिटल में ही रहता था. वो आपके बोलने के अंदाज से सब समझ में आ जाएगा, बिकॉज दैट इज जस्ट वन मार्क्स. व्हाट हैपेंड लेटर, व्हाट. ठीक है, 12th में बीमार थी, ग्रेजुएशन में क्या हुआ, उसके बाद जितने एग्जाम दिए उसमें क्या हुआ. गेटिंग अ पॉइंट? जितना आप झूठ बोलेंगे उतना आप फंसेंगे. जितना आप ऑनेस्ट रहेंगे, ट्रुथफुल रहेंगे, कंफर्टेबल रहेंगे, उतना अच्छा है. ठीक है दोस्तों? नो डाउट? फॉर श्योर. ठीक है फिर चलो मिलते हैं. इसको बंद करो.